The plate 1. As soon as the need arises to highlight the impending frame, an image appears in my head, then I repeat with words and reinforce all this is a pleasant sensation. First you need to activate the plate and then draw on the screen image or pronounce in thoughts. This order. How important is the question of faith in highlighting? Not that I doubt my desires, but sometimes, depending on the mood, such thoughts come to mind. Faith will come later. Do it first. Tufti therefore recommends practice more often. Firstly, to develop the plate, and secondly, change the firmware, change the mental template. When repeatedly check that the plate works, then believe it. Tell me if there are safety precautions or recommendations. When working with the plate, what is possible and what is not? Read more about the plate in the chapter The Plate with Threads. When just determine your braid, there are different sensations, many there. There may be temporary discomfort, but they will soon go away. Nothing's so terrible to talk about safety, while it has not been noticed. Is it worth activating the plate during prayer? Or the power of prayer doesn't need reinforcement with a plate? It's not up to me to judge this. I don't have a spiritual dignity. But it seems to me, if you turn to God, He will hear you. Already. But if you are applying to reality more precisely, intend to change it, then the plate greatly enhance your intention. I have two problems. I can't imagine for a long time your goal. And introduce the plate. If there is an algorithm, right? It is not necessary to present your goal for a long time. The plate. Technique designed for short moments of focus on the target. Frame. Read more about how to present the plate in the chapter. The Plate with Threads. Question. When highlighting a frame, a target, you only need to highlight one frame, or can one, second, third? After all, life is multifaceted. I want both that, and the third, and 10th. If you are already the plate master, you can highlight at least 10 frames in one session with the plate.
And if able to focus on
everyone these frames while holding the plate. And yet, importantly, all these frames should not contradict each other. In general, any of your frames are not must be in conflict with each other. It is better to spend only one frame per session with the plate, and so more reliable, and there will be no confusion. The remaining frames are also separately in during the
day.
You can highlight different frames several times individually. The main thing is systematically. The question, perhaps often repeated, but it's like this: I don't feel the plate. I do not understand when to turn it on. Neither physically nor energetically I don't feel it, but when I try to make light little things, take the bus to a certain place to get something, everything works. In this case, I repeat, the moment of switching on the plate does not happen, or me like that. I think, I'm not straining my muscles, maybe it's not worth the wait, some heat or energy between the shoulder blades, and just imagine that there is. The technique is great. I really want to understand. If you don't feel the plate, then you don't feel your energy, or your braid is very atrophied. That which does not use atrophy like muscles. It must be developed. Constant exercise. Work with energies as described in chapter. Spit with streams. Suppose you have atrophied it, but that doesn't mean that on the simplest things it will not work. Just pay attention in place between the shoulder blades, even if you don't feel anything, and highlight frame. It'll be enough. In the priestess outfit, the priestess herself at first, too, did not feel any plate. The time will come, your braid will develop, and you can too. Manipulate as easily as a hand, and then you can create more complicated things. What to do if it is not possible to achieve a distinct sensation of the plate or its tip? Is it possible in this case to simply visualize the plate, still trying to catch the sensation? Will there be an effect? In this case, Matilda from the book The Priestess Outfit also failed to achieve a distinct sensation of the plate. She felt a certain yearning for back, which can be interpreted in different ways. Matilda is not at all felt her braid just like the plate sticking out of the back of her head and rising when activated. She had an intermediary, her bow that made her pay attention behind her back, that was all. Was worth pay her attention to a bow, mind you, not to the plate, as she has everything it turned out. And you will succeed. But to visualize the plate and try to catch this feeling, certainly. And certainly worth it. It will manifest itself in one form or another, then you will feel and understand what it is. Draw a rough outline of the plate, what it is, and where it is located. The layout of the plate will not only give you nothing, but maybe to interfere, because this is a subjective sensation, each has its own. Simply you need to feel that there is something behind the shoulder blades. If sensation repeated from time to time, then it is true, which it doesn't matter. Sensations in other places, in the solar plexus, for example, are not those sensations. The plate is located behind the shoulder blades. If you rack your brains exactly where and how exactly, nothing will come of it. Do not strain too much. Feel that you have something behind your shoulder blades. Then, without letting go of its sensations, imagine in front, on your inner screen, or in thoughts, words, desired frame. It's simple, felt. Focus for a minute or less, captured the frame, and shed the feeling. Introduce first graders number 1 and number 2. Number 1 is learning to solve difficult tasks on his own. It takes him more time. Number 2 has a magic wand that helps him solve problems quickly, not making an effort. In the 11th grade, number 1 has experience, knowledge, he knows how to solve all tasks, can do a lot. If number 2 is taken away, it turns out that he remained at first grader level. It turns out there is no growth and development. Not understand literally, so an approximate picture, not criticism. Method Tufti is a magic wand. Avoiding obstacles?
You probably want to say that the
student who uses the plate cannot learn anything or take exams without training, but that doesn't work like that. The plate is not a magic wand. She only helps to get out on the film, where there will be an easy ticket or a friend task. But you still can't do without
study.
How not to do without an athlete training sessions.
At
competitions or exams there are adverse situation. So, the plate allows you to go to the film where these situations are favorable and everything goes smoothly. The so-called miracles happen in the simplest cases. In more difficult situations you have to work hard, both with the plate and with physical efforts.